Yep, thanks, Stacey. Kind of what I said last night. Look, it's always disappointing to lose a game, especially here at home. Thought we did a lot of good things. I would also say, you know, we lacked execution in some of the critical times in the game that we really needed to convert, and that's what a good football team is. And look, the guys went out there and played with energy. They played hard. They played tough. I thought offensively, did a pretty good job executing the game plan. And then special teams wise, I would say, there were things that we left out there on the field. And then defensively, obviously the receivers were a huge issue for us. And, you never want to give up big plays. That play the cup definitely hurt us as far as momentum and things like that in the game. But look, got to go back to the drawing board. We have enough talent in that room, in the locker room to win football games. And I stand by that. And I have to be better. The coaches have to be better, and the players got to be better. But we have enough talent in there, and looking forward to these guys changing the page and continue to get better as we move forward.
I'll open up with questions. We'll start with Mike Reese, followed by Chris Price.
Jerod, you mentioned the cup touchdown. And I want, it's always easier to ask questions when you know the result of the play. At that point in the game, it's 2nd and 9. Looked like you guys sent 7 rushers. And I guess my thought, I wanted to ask you, how comfortable are you with that level of aggressiveness in the sense of, hey, they made the play, right? You still got to make it. But at the same time, the risk reward is what I'm asking.
No, you hit it on the head, the risk reward. And, we felt like that was a good time to call that blitz. We've called it, a couple times in the game. And sometimes it was a run play, and it gave us some movement up front. But, when that happened, on that big play, it was just we didn't get there in time, and it was poor coverage on the outside.
And then I'm following up on your comment about just the critical situation sometimes coming through with the plays. The red zone offense, I think you even made the point. You were 8 of 9 in red zone offense prior to these last 2 games.
That's right.
It's tailed off a little bit as you've looked at those situations. What is the common thread you're seeing there that has led to the decline there?
I would just say overall, probably just a lack of execution. Even yesterday, you look at it, we're in a short yardage situation and then get a penalty, you have to move back, or a tackle for a loss, and then, things kind of change. But we just have to be better. We have to be better in protection. We got to do, as the field starts to contract or shorten. I mean, look, there are other players in the box, and we just got to be precise and execute.
Next question, Chris Price, followed by Chris Ryan.
Jerod, I'm curious, a day later, any regrets? I know it's a situation that's ripe for second guessing, but any regrets about punting and when you had a chance to kick maybe a long-ish field goal there to go up 10-0 early on?
Yeah, no, I don't want to use the word regrets, but look, I've been very open. Being a first-year head coach, like, I'm learning as well, and it's a good experience. And like you said, hindsight is 2020, but that was the decision I made during the game that I thought gave us the best chance to win the football game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Ryan, followed by Doug Kai.
Hey, Jerod, hope all is well with you. Just kind of building on that, do you feel that as a coach, you want to establish, an identity when it comes to those types of situations? Like, obviously, certain coaches, they're going to go for it on 4th down, no matter what, or they're going to kick a field goal as opposed to punt. Like, do you feel like you need to have an overriding philosophy when it comes to that, or is it a case-by-case type situation?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's a case-by-case, like how the game is going, what the flow of the game is like. And like I said, in the moment, and I always feel like I'm making the right decision. And it's very easy to look back and say, well, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. And that would be multiple situations. Like, you can go back to the London game, and then some of the same situations showed up yesterday. And if you execute, we're not having this conversation. But as I say here today, look, it's 100% on me, and I have to be better.
The other thing you mentioned is that there's enough talent in the room to win games. Did you always, believe that, or did the guys have to kind of show that through the course of the year? Like, after the Jacksonville game, you've obviously been a much more competitive team. So did that question kind of get answered, or did you already know the answer to it?
Yeah, I've always believed that we had talent in the room. I've always believed that, we have tough, smart, dependable guys in the room. And I saw that in the weight room during the spring, when that's where you really first see, like, how tough your football team is. And we just got to continue to try to put those guys in a situation that they can be successful and win games.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Doug Hyde, followed by Sophie Well.
Hey, good morning, Jerod.
Good.
Mike was asking earlier about the aggressiveness that you guys showed on the full-out blitz, on the big play by Cooper Kupp. It does feel like some of the fourth down decisions have been a little bit more conservative. Have you been mindfully going more risk averse on those fourth down decisions, or is that just the way that you felt in the moment?
As I've said, throughout the season, especially the last 3 weeks, I've alluded to, the coordinators, the coaches, and myself, we've done a decent job, a good job of staying ahead of the game. Now, there are certain situations where, all right, look, we're going for it right here, and then it's a tackle for a loss. And I'm not just talking about this game. I'm talking about, just the season as a whole. There are situations where you have to be ready to change. And look, as I continue to evolve as a coach, as the players continue to grow and develop, we'll see what happens. But it's a case-by-case basis.
And just one quick follow-up as well. I know you got a chance to watch the film by this point. What did you think of Christian Barmore's performance in his return?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, it was just good to see him out there. There are definitely things we had to work on, and I would say the number one thing is just pad level. It was really his first time being in pads, and I look forward to him continue to progress.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sophie Weller, followed by Mark Daniel.
Morning, Jerod.
Morning.
I was just curious. Kendrick Bourne went from having no snaps against the Bears to playing and got hit the touchdown and all that. Just how did you see him kind of respond after that adversity from the week before?
Yeah, he responded great. I think he was our leading receiver yesterday, and just a guy that, and it doesn't matter what position you're talking about. Like, there's nothing more important than practice and going out there and performing at a high level at practice, which I would say he had a great week of practice, and it transferred to the game.
And then I'm curious, Javon Baker, we were seeing him do some punt returns, but he had the fumble and then the hurdle play, and he was kind of out after that. Was that in response to that, or just giving players their opportunity? Just kind of what was the thought process there?
You're talking about the kick returns, right?
Yes, sorry.
Yep, no problem. So on the kick returns, he was back there the first couple of snaps, and he didn't execute the way that we all had hoped he would. I know it was a big return. Even on that big return, it was one of those situations where is he coming out, is he not coming out, and same thing with the second kickoff return.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mark Daniels, followed by Chris Price.
Hey, Jerod. Good morning.
Morning.
With Kendrick Bourne and someone like Jalen Polk, for you as a coach, how difficult of a balance is it, having the young kid in there because you need to develop him, but also taking, a productive receiver like Kendrick off the field?
Yeah, like I said earlier, Kendrick had a great game, and Polk is developing, and he will be a good player in this league. As the head coach of this football team, we're trying to win right now, and whoever the hot hand happens to be in that situation will play more.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Two final questions, Chris Price and Mike Reese.
Jerod, kind of piggybacking off of Doug's question from earlier, I'm curious to get your thoughts on how Yannick played in his debut for you guys yesterday.
Yeah, he did some good things. I would say, he's a very smart individual, and look, we'll continue to load up his plate this week, and I anticipate him playing more as we move forward.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The last question, Mike Reese.
And how significant, Jerod, did you see the illegal formation penalty on that they called in terms of the way the game unfolded, and what is the coaching point there, I guess, going forward?
Are you talking about the low? The
low, yeah.
Yeah, look, so, the referees, they do a good job. They give you a warning before the game. They gave them, 2 warnings during the game, and they called the third one. So that's on us. And I always say, look, we'll do business as business is being done, and you've been warned multiple times. You got to get on the ball. But it's not only, look, I know it's oftentimes, they throw the flag on a tackle, but I would also say it's part, the entire offensive line. If the guards are set 2 back, then obviously the tackles will be back as well. And, if you ask those guys the same question, they'll give you the same answer.
Thanks, Jerod. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.